Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to my kitchen and to Apron Strings. I'm sure glad y'all are joining me. It's quiet here again today, and I need somebody to talk to. So I'll just talk to y'all. For many, many years, my mother made a particular pound cake every week, and most of the time she would make 2 pound cakes because she would give one away to her pastor at church or to a friend. Most of the time her pastor got one a week. And it's called the Millionaire pound cake. It was Mom's favorite. And so I want to make my mama's pound cake today, and I'm going to bring y'all along for the ride. I'm a little bit sentimental today. I guess I've been missing Mama. I got a lot of her old recipes out and looked at them and got tickled because some of them she had written down 3 or 4 times the same recipe, but that's okay. I have copies, and that's great. So today we're going to make this Millionaire pound cake, and I can just hear my mama saying, "Baby, it don't have any baking soda or baking powder in it. It's the eggs, and you have to beat it and beat it and beat it." I mean, that was every time you were there and she was making one, she would go over the instructions all over again. I wish I could hear her one more time do that. But anyhow, it does not have any leavening in it other than the eggs, and you do give it a good whooping after each egg is added. So I'm going to spray my tube pan. Now I have a bundt pan that makes the pretty edges, but this cake a lot of times on the increase of the moon, and we're on the increase right now, it rises higher than the pan and then it kind of falls around the middle. So this is a taller pan than my pretty bundt, so I'm just going to make it in an angel food cake pan. And I'm going to spray it with Baker's Joy really good where it'll come out without tearing up. And I'm going to get my pan ready, and I'm going to bring y'all over to the mixer, and we're going to make my mama's pound cake. And I hope y'all will try this recipe at some point and that you enjoy it like we do. Now sometimes she would have some cooked sweetened strawberries out of the freezer we'd put on it. Sometimes a scoop of Bluebell homemade vanilla ice cream, but let me tell you, I just like it plain, just like it is. Now I'll tell you a funny story. One time we had a hurricane and all of our lights were out up here, so we went down to my daughter's, me and Mom and Daddy, to stay at Kingwood because their lights were on. And my daddy, as he got older, he did some things that were a little childish. And I had gone somewhere. And when I got back, my daughter said, "Mother, we're giving that cake a new name. It's not called the pound cake anymore. It's called the crumb cake." She said, "Papa's got him a piece of it," and said, "Everywhere he goes in the house, he leaves a trail of crumbs." So we didn't change it to the crumb cake, but I pick at her every now and then about Papa's crumb cake. It was a little aggravating, and he didn't even realize he was doing it. But anyway, we're going to make the pound cake today, and I'll let y'all see exactly how we do it. Okay, to start with, you want to put 4 sticks of butter into your mixer and give it a little whiz. You want your butter to always be soft at room temperature so that it'll cream well. And into the butter, we're going to add 3 cups of granulated sugar. Now y'all notice I'm using the wire whisk that normally you would do egg whites with, but Mother always mixed her pound cake up because she thought that mixed the batter better. So when I'm making her pound cake, I generally will put the whisk on there rather than the regular beater. We're doing this like Mama did today. Okay, I'm going to start adding in my eggs one at a time, and I'm going to beat it for quite a bit after each egg. Mama would say, beat it real good after you add each egg. That's the 3rd one, and it needs to mix well. 4, Y'all see how fluffy it's getting in there? I've got one more egg to go. There's number 6. I'm going to stop it and scrape it down. You want it to be all mixed up really, really well. I'm going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla and a teaspoon of butter, imitation butter flavoring. 1 each. And 1/2 of a teaspoon of salt. Go ahead and blend that. I think I told you, but just in case I didn't, you want your eggs and your milk at room temperature. Now my milk was not at room temperature, so I heated it just about 30-40 seconds in the microwave, just enough to make it, to break the chill on it. So it calls for 4 cups of flour, and you add your flour a little at a time, and then you add a little bit of milk and a little flour and a little milk, and when you get it all incorporated, then you're going to give it a good beating for about 3 minutes. And I made a mess on the counter. So a little bit of flour, a little of the milk. Let it incorporate well. Alright, I'm going to add a little more, maybe the rest of my flour. Rest of my milk. I'm going to let it incorporate, and then I'm going to scrape it down, and then I'm just going to let it whip for 2 or 3 minutes. Let me scrape it down, and then I'll just set it to mixing, and I'll bring y'all back when it's done. This is not a heavy pound cake like the 1, 2, 3, 4 cake, if you're familiar with that. It has a really fine texture to it. It's really good. It's different, and it's very good. Okay, I'm just going to set this mixer and set my timer for about 3 minutes and just let it blend, and then I'll get it in the pan. All whipped up. I'm going to get it in the bundt pan. Okay, now that I've got it in there, I'm going to bang it around a little bit and try to get it to level out. Okay, this goes into a 325-degree oven for about an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer for 80 minutes, but I'll check it a little bit ahead of time, and I'll use my cake tester to make sure that it's done. And I'll bring y'all back and show you this beautiful pound cake. Here you go, y'all. Here's this big old fat pretty pound cake. And it's still too warm to cut. But it smells so buttery and so yummy. And I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, y'all. I've got this beautiful cake, and it's sliced and I got me a bite of it on this plate, and it's pretty, and I can taste of it for you. I can't resist the cake. I don't taste of everything, but Mama's pound cake today, I need a bite of it. Tastes just like my mama's. Cool it on a wire rack or up off of something where the bottom won't sweat. Cool it for about 15 minutes and then carefully take it out and put it back on your plate. I just love it, and it's just so rewarding when it turns out so tall and pretty. If you make it on the increase of the moon, you get a bigger cake. I don't know what the deal is, but it works. So I'm going to sit down and eat me a piece of cake and think about all those times I stopped by Mama's house and run in there and lifted that lid up and got me a slice of cake and sat down and ate it and enjoyed visiting with her. I hope y'all have a good meal on your table today. Good food makes the world go round, makes you happy. Hope y'all come right back here tomorrow for another recipe. In the meanwhile, the good Lord bless you, and spend some time with your family.